Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Philogene, and today I'm here to present a Cyber Threat Intelligence Plan proposal. In front of you, I have placed a copy of the Cyber Threat Intelligence Plan. As you may all know, ABC Corp is emerging as the upcoming leader in the medical device industry. Our organization has grown significantly over the past decade and more recently due to the impact of COVID-19. Due to the success of our organization, we are facing a high occurrence of potential attacks, and this document will help identify our security posture with the goal of identifying possible risks, threats, and threat actors. Additionally, it will cover the ways that ABC Corp can minimize risk through the use of a risk reduction plan. The importance of this document is significant as a single attack or incident can pose serious financial, reputational, and regulatory consequences. The plan will assist the organization in ensuring that the company is well postured to mitigate the identified threats and potential attacks, as ABC is responsible for ensuring the protection and well-being of its employees, customers, stakeholders, and its resources. Overall, the proposal will serve as a recommendation to C-level and senior leadership on actionable steps to help in decreasing the organization's exposure to cyber threats while inheriting an acceptable level of risk. Just to provide some context, cyber threat intelligence is the knowledge, skills, and experience-based information concerning the occurrence and assessment of both physical threats, cyber threats, and threat actors that is intended to help mitigate potential attacks. With growth and success comes more risk and threats. According to NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, 815, cyber attacks have increased in frequency and sophistication, presenting significant challenges for organizations that must defend their data and systems from capable threat actors. Threat actors can be persistent, motivated, and agile. Included in the report is an overview of well-known threat actors, what motivates them, and the most common method of attack by each threat actor. As you can see, we have 4 listed here. We have organized cyber criminals, who are known as your hacker groups, gangs, and advanced persistent threats, with the motivation of financial gain, and their method of attack is usually seen through phishing, social engineering, malware, bots, etc. We also have insider threats, which are our employees, third-party suppliers, and contractors. Their motivation is usually financial gain as well, revenge, and negligence. Their method of attack is through unauthorized access, phishing failures, employee errors, and misuse of authorized access. We also have activists, which are usually united around ideology, principles, or cause. Motivation are usually surrounded around politics, religion, regional, or personal causes. Their method of attacks are bots, DDoS attacks, distributed denial of service, information theft, sabotage, sit-ins. And then we have nation states, which are groups commissioned by a country. Their motivation is nationalism, gaining secrets from other nations, or disrupting other nations. And their method of attack can be seen through social engineering, malicious software, as well as zero-day exploits. As part of the Cyber Threat Intelligence Plan proposal, we've also performed an adversarial threat analysis on our competitor. We've chosen to do Johnson & Johnson, as Johnson & Johnson is one of the leading companies in the medical device industry, generating the second most in revenue. Johnson & Johnson has operated in the medical device industry for more than 130 years and is the largest based healthcare company. Performing an adversarial assessment will allow ABC Corp to gain a better understanding of the medical device industry, the needs within the industry, and the risks seen across the industry. Johnson & Johnson is a publicly traded company, and its financial details are made available online. It has made over 43 acquisitions and 19 investments, spending over $86.4 billion for the acquisitions. Matching or exceeding their investments into research, development, and innovation will prove to be important as ABC continues to grow. If you take a look into the report, there's more details related to this adversarial assessment. In order for ABC to properly prepare for a cyber threat or cyber attack, it is important to be familiar with threat intelligence. According to NIST 830, cyber threats is defined as any circumstance or event with the potential to adversely impact organization operations, including missions, function, image, or reputation, organizational assets, individuals, other organizations, or the nation through an information via unauthorized access, destruction, disclosure, modification of information, and or denial of service. It is critical that as an organization that provides medical devices, ABC is cognizant of cyber threats and how it may affect the organization and its products. Cyber threats can occur at the corporate level, but they are also targeting employees of the organization. As well as said by John Chambers, CEO of Cisco, there are two types of companies, those that have been hacked and those that have yet to know that they've been hacked. The best way to prepare for a cyber attack is by understanding threat intelligence and how it can help an organization with identifying such attacks. There are three types of threat intelligence included in the report. We have strategic, tactical, and operational. Strategic threat intelligence is non-technical. This is primarily the audience is C-suite management and board members. This is the method of threat intelligence exposes the reasons behind and the motivations behind an attack, and the individual or groups responsible for the attack and the reason the attacker was interested in an organization. This is produced in the form of white papers, policies, documented, and publications. Tactical helps to identify the how and where of attacks. It's the technical information often delivered as vendor reports. The primary audience is professionals involved in network security, architecture, and administration, so our SOC analysts. And information obtained from the tactical method is used to trigger improvement in defense mechanisms and better understand how to respond to incidents. Operational consists of machine-readable data. This can be a URL, file name, hashes, IP addresses, domain names. It uses ranges from blocks attacks to validating alerts and searching and eliminating specific threats within a network. Operational CTI is consumed by tools like firewalls, IDS, IPS, SIM tools, and further operational threat intelligence indicators are collected from active campaigns. So this is a continued monitoring that can be done by our SOC analysts. Now, you may say we will see common attacks like malware, phishing, password attacks, but it's also important to understand how these attacks are associated with the medical device industry. So research has shown that medical devices see an average of 6.2 vulnerabilities for each device. And many of those devices have been recalled by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration because of security issues. Those devices include pacemakers, insulin pumps, and more. Further research has shown that more than 40% of medical devices are too outdated for security updates or patches, while 83% of medical imaging devices are legacy systems that are too outdated to update. One of the biggest threats to our industry is the lack of cells when legacy systems can no longer be updated, and the lack of continual patching for legacy systems. In addition to those threats, the medical industry is also faced with the following threats: malware, phishing, spear phishing, man-in-the-middle, Trojan ransomware, denial of service, attacks on IoT devices, data breaches, malware, and mobile apps. To provide context, we've done research on attacks that have been seen across organizations, and we chose to do an analysis on the WannaCry attack against Maersk. In 2017, it was one of the biggest ransomware attacks that took place. There were 2,000 computers that were affected in more than 150 countries, and the outbreak had a massive impact across several industries and had a global cost of about $6 billion. The attack was essentially a software vulnerability in Microsoft Windows operating system and worked by exploiting the Microsoft Server Message Block. The Server Message Block, SMB, is a network file sharing protocol and allows applications of computers to read and write to files and to request service that are on the same network. During the discovery phase, further analysis of the attack was performed by companies such as Symantec. They revealed that the attack was linked to the Lazarus Group. The Lazarus Group had been linked to North Korea, which is a threat actor, but it was not seen as a nation-state campaign. The WannaCry ransomware hit thousands of computers in over 150 countries and was delivered via email. Recipients were tricked into opening attachments and releasing malware into their systems in a technique called phishing. common threat. Once the recipients opened the attachment, the computer became affected and it locked up the files and encrypted them in a way that users could not access them anymore. In order to gain access, there was a request or demand, shall we say, for Bitcoin. The WannaCry ransomware was made possible due to the outdated Microsoft operating system and the lack of patch management controls in place. It was not until Friday, May 12, 2017, when the NHS was brought to a standstill for several days due to the WannaCry outbreak. And it was noted that they were running supported but unpatched Microsoft 7 operating systems. They were aware that there was a vulnerability, but they didn't take the necessary actions to mitigate before it became a full-on attack. We've seen the mistakes of Merck's and how they were attacked with the WannaCry ransomware, but we don't have to be the victim. We can prepare ourselves by implementing a risk reduction plan. Throughout the plan, cyber threats, threat actors, and cyber threat intelligence have been defined. And in order for us, ABC Corp, to strengthen its security posture, the organization needs to incorporate a risk reduction plan. The proposed risk reduction plan is a process to identify and prioritize risks, followed by integrated and strategic investment of resources to reduce their occurrence and impact. There are 6 cybersecurity risk mitigation strategies that we should consider. Conduct a risk assessment to determine vulnerabilities, establish network access controls, providing least privilege, implementing firewalls and antivirus software, creating a patch management schedule, continuously monitoring network traffic, and build an incident response plan. To conclude, risk to an organization is always changing, and the threat landscape will never remain the same. But with the right approach and review of security controls, ABC Corp can position themselves to minimize any potential or actual attacks to the organization by implementing a cyber threat intelligence framework. It creates intelligence to respond in a timely manner to cyber attacks by managing, detecting, and alerting security professionals of potential threats. It provides an actionable plan to mitigate the known threats or attacks by collecting the latest threat source information and creating threat models. Other benefits are cost effectiveness. It improves efficiency of the security team and lowers risk, prevents data breaches, and allows for collaborative knowledge, and allows for in-depth cyber threat analysis. Additionally, ABC will benefit from investing in its employees and research program to create the next innovative medical device with timely patches that are pushed to each device. ABC should ensure all internal software and operating systems are up to date, employees are aware of suspicious emails or traffic, data is safeguarded and protected, and investments are made to strengthen the security posture. Let's take the advice of NHS Digital, and that is to get serious about cybersecurity because the next big attack could possibly be against our organization and cause significant and financial damage. Thank you. Any questions?